Hey there, I'm Laura from 5 out of 4 Patterns, and welcome to day 1 of the Josephine Kids Joe Sew Along, sponsored by the Fab Clique Fabric Shop. Today we are printing, we are assembling, and we are cutting. Let's do it. All right, let's put our pattern together. As you see, I have the Kids Joe that I'm putting together. I'm only going to put together one. I'm not going to put together both the Josephine and the Joe for you. You're going to get the gist of how to do it. I'm just going to get you started, and yeah, we can jump right in. You can see that I have printed multiple sizes here. I'm making 3 different sizes. I'm making a size 8, a size 4, and a size 0 to 3 months, and I thought hopefully that I would be able to just print one pattern for all 3 sizes. So we'll see how it goes. It will make cutting out fabric a little more complicated, but I'd rather save paper, so we should be good to go. So when you see I'm taping for all the sizes so that all the sizes are taped down properly when I cut them out. It's not a big deal. When you're printing multiple sizes, you'll see that sometimes lines overlap, sometimes words overlap. That's something you just have to take into consideration when you're doing it, and just, you know, be patient with it. Lining things up, I'm not covering up any of the gray lines here. I'm taking my pages to meet those gray lines in order to complete kind of the diamonds. And sometimes, based on the way your printer feeds, it gets a little wonky. You can see right here, it's just a little off. That's okay. If it's a lot off, then you might need to reprint or investigate what the problem, if there's a problem with your printer. But this is going to be okay. Don't get too kind of concerned about that. It's really not a huge deal. I think you can take it from here. I've taped it all together and we are ready to cut it out. The thing you need to take into consideration is all the options that you choose to make. Now, you've got multiple options for the top. You've got a hemmed crop top, you've got a banded crop top, you've got a hemmed top, a banded top, you've got a tunic length, you've got a dress line. I mean, you've just got all kinds of things going on here. Okay, so you're just gonna pay close attention to your bodice lengths. What exactly are you looking for? I'm gonna be cutting a couple different lengths here because I am making 3 Joes, Kids Joes, for this sew along. Let me move this up. So we've got a lot of different things going on here. Up here, towards this upper portion, this upper right area, we have your crop hem, if you're doing a crop top, or if you're doing the gathered skirt, you do the crop top hem band. You also have a short sleeve cuff, and then as we move down our pattern, we've got a long sleeve cuff here, we've got our kangaroo pocket. We also have a hood. Now notice, I've printed 3 sizes. Again, I've printed size 8, size 4, and size 0 to 3 months. In the baby sizes, we do not include a hood or a cowl neck, the cowl neckband. And that is because these just kind of provide a dangerous kind of choking hazard for for babies, and we want to be sensitive to that. So we don't include those in the kids' patterns in the baby sizes. So don't be alarmed if you're making a baby size and you don't see the hood. All right. Also, we've got a crossover neckband. We've got a couple different kinds of thumb hole cuffs. We've got the standard thumb hole cuff, which is here, but we've got the fun new thumb hole cuff, which is here. All right. Now we've also got the dress hem band. I'm sorry, the dress band, hem band. Oh my gosh, I can talk today. The regular neck band. We have here, this is the crossover neck band, one of my favorites. Our sleeves, and so you'll have to pay attention to what length you want, whether or not you're making a cuff or whether or not you're doing short sleeve, whatever, it's up to you. And then we have our cowl piece here. Again, does not have the baby sizes, and I'm doing 0 to 3 months, so I'm not doing a cowl, and I am not doing the hood. I may do the crossover. I'm not sure. We'll see. I haven't made all my decisions yet. So now it's time for me to cut. Now, since I'm doing 3 sizes, I'm cutting the largest size first. So I'm cutting the size 8 out. So you can see how I get it done. One of the things to remember is that I have printed the entire pattern. For the Kids Joe, it's 30 pages. You may not need all the pages, so there is a print guide in every single one of our patterns so that you can print only the pages that you need. When I shoot sew-alongs, I always want to show the whole pattern so that you get a sense of what the whole pattern looks like. Now I'm cutting the size 4 for the cowl because I know for sure that my 4-year-old is going to be getting a cowl. Don't forget, if you're doing the new thumb hole cuffs, these pattern pieces are small, so don't forget them. Before we move on, I want to grab a marker. I want to show you what I do on this piece, this tiny little thumb hole cuff piece right here. It has lots of words on it, and they're all necessary words and they all have to be there, but this is the thumb hole cuff A piece. It's the smaller of the 2 thumb hole pieces. When I first made this, I did not notice that it said cut 2 on the fold. So because that's something I know that I might miss if I'm making the thumb hole cuffs, I'm going to make note of that right now. Okay, so if you're making the new thumb hole cuffs, please mark that, because you don't want to be like me and have to totally redo it. It was very frustrating. All right. You'll also see as you're cutting out on your pattern piece, there's the word front and back. I always like to notch out the front or the back. It's up to you, whichever you choose, so that when I'm putting my sleeves together, I don't have to reference the pattern pieces, you know what I mean, as I'm sewing. I know that this is the front, so I've cut out a notch to tell me which is the front. Now, since I'm not doing any short sleeves, I'm not cutting out the short sleeve cuff. Nobody's getting short sleeves, it's all long sleeves, so I'm gonna skip that one. But I am gonna need the crop hemband in the smallest size because I'm making the gathered skirt in the 0 to 3 months. So we will be cutting that on the crop line, so we need the crop hemband for that. Whoopsies. Okay, so So what I tend to do when I have cut out more than one size, I like to take a marker and go around it. Like this is the 0 to 3 months right here. And I just want to make sure that when I come to cut this, that I'm cutting the right thing. So because I'm doing the gathered skirt dress option, I'm doing the crop top with band. So I'm doing that there, all right? Now let's go out to our size 8 here. Now if you need to reprint any pieces because of the way, if you're doing multiple sizes, because of the way these overlap, this is the piece that you need to do. This is page 7, and you might wanna, might be easier to reprint that particular page in each size, just so you don't have any overlap, okay? So I'm here, and I'm going to do the hemmed tunic line. So I need to come all the way down, that's the width of the band, all the way down to the hemmed tunic line, which is right here. That just helps me see where I need to cut, okay? So, and then you can grab a different color marker or colored pencil or whatever, and you can move to the, I moved to the other size, the size 4. And now you can see how these kind of come out from each other a little bit, so it just makes it a little more challenging when cutting, but it can be done. I do it all the time. All right, she's going to have the tunic length, the banded tunic length. So now I just need to find her tunic length. So it's this here. So that's the hemmed top with a cut line, the hemmed top. This is the tunic line with the band for her size. So I'm cutting here, okay? So just sometimes when you're doing multiple sizes, it makes it easier to see what you need to cut, especially if you print in black and white. I don't own a color printer, so everything's black and white for me. Move this to the side. I just want to show you what I do here on this part. Okay, so I'm going to turn this upside down just so it's easier for me to cut. So I'm going to cut these out like notches so I don't have to reprint this page. Now if you do not have to do this, you can reprint the page if you're doing multiple sizes. It's up to you. It's easy to reprint the page, and instead of printing 30, you're only printing 3. Okay, so then what I do is I kind of fold, because the size 4 is right here, but I want the size 8. So I don't want to ruin my neckline there. So I'm going to fold on that line. You can even snip it a little bit if you want. But now that I fold on that line, I've totally taken that size 4 out of the equation. So when I go to do the size 4, I'll unfold it and cut along this, right? That's simple. All right, let's do the back bodice. Now what I'm going to be doing is getting ready to cut out my muslin fabric. If the first thing you're going to do, if you've never made this pattern before, the first thing that you are going to do is you are going to make a muslin. Why? I say this every so long, so if you're new, I'm glad you're here. This is new info for you maybe. A muslin is a sample, okay? It allows you to adjust or to determine what kind of fit adjustments you may or may not need. If you've never made this pattern before, I suggest you make it as is for whoever you're making it for, and then adjust the pattern, have them try it on, and then adjust the pattern according to their needs. Sometimes you don't have to make any adjustments. Sometimes it's just length adjustments. Sometimes it's major adjustments like, I don't know, full bicep or what have you. So here I have cut out, this is the Kids Joe. If you're doing the adult version, the Josephine, you're gonna have a lot of similar pieces. If you might have a facing piece for your curved hemline that we don't include in the kids version. You also, what else might you have? I don't know, I think that might be the only thing that's different that I can think of off the top of my head. I could be wrong. But you're going to have a lot of similar pieces. Okay, so what you'll do is you'll make it however you want to make it. You don't have to put all of the extras if you're on a muslin. You don't have to put your kangaroo pocket or things like that on it. You could do it very basic, hemmed everything. You don't even have to hem it, but you don't have to go and do all the things, so you're wasting a bunch of fabric. But do make a sample, make a muslin try to make it out of something a fabric that is similar to what you're going to be making your final out of. That way, that gives you everything you need in order to make the adjustments that you need to. So let's get ready to cut out some fabric. Before we cut out any fabric, I wanted to show you the fabric that I have for this month's sew along. Let me grab, I've got junk everywhere here. Okay, I picked out 5 different fabrics that I'm going to use for this sew along. Now, these are all from our sponsor, the Fab Clique, and I'm telling you, these are lovely. This tie-dye is just killing me right now. It's a nice weight. It feels fantastic. This is the wrong side. I don't know if you can see it. This is the right side. It's really beautiful. I got another version of that same thing in this. Again, super beautiful. The colors are so gorgeous. And it's a nice feeling French terry. Okay, that's the front, that's the back. I got French terry for all of these. I got a beautiful blue for my 14-year-old who immediately got excited because she loves blue. I am so impressed with the way this fabric feels. I've pre-washed all my fabric as I always do. And then finally, I'm sorry, I got 4 fabrics, not 5. I think I'm crazy. I got this French terry, and it looks like suede and feels like suede on the right side. And on the wrong side, this is what it looks like. So you can see the wrong side is much darker than the right side. You could actually use that as kind of a pop of color, something contrasting. You could do your cuffs with the wrong side of the fabric showing, or your kangaroo pocket. You can really make that work. It's so gorgeous. Oh my goodness. I just love it so much. And for the skirt of the gathered dress option for my 0 to 3 months, I'm just gonna find something coordinating. I don't even know which fabric I'm gonna use, but I'm gonna look in my stash because the baby pattern pieces are so tiny. They're great stash busters, or whatever you want to call them. You can use your what am I trying to say? Scrap busters, that's the word. You can use your scraps to make a 0 to 3 months easy. So that's kind of what I'm going to do. I don't know which one of these. It depends on what fabric I can find in my fabric closet and which thing it coordinates with. But these are gorgeous. If you have never purchased from the Fab Clique, I highly recommend their fabric. I have never, ever, ever been disappointed by the quality of their fabric. This stuff is amazing. I love the way it feels. So anyway, now that I've talked enough about fabric, which I could do all day, let's get ready to cut some stuff out. unlike me who's making 5, you are ready for day 2. As for me, I got more cutting to do.